in the United States, 1992. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be in this great country. So I want to talk a little bit about how I get myself into this race. In 2020, I'm here in Orange County helping congressional candidates get on to Congress. And on election night, every one of us think that Trump is going to have another 4 more years, and America will be great, better, and better again. And we probably would not be living in Ukraine today if that happened. On that night, I talked to a friend who's a school board and said, what should we do for the next 4 years with Trump in office? And the thing that we because that's one thing that we see a lot of people from all communities want to do is to have parents and kids have in control of their destiny and use free choice and free market to improve their lives. We all know what happened after that. Many of us are dejected, depressed. A friend of mine, Claston Bernard, I met him at a Brexit event. He's from Jamaica. He's an immigrant from Jamaica who runs his own small business. And he's running in a special congressional election in Louisiana. So he said, George, come help me. And I did, because I don't want to be depressed. I want to be doing something. His district includes New Orleans, Baton Rouge. It's about 70% black. And I look around, it's 70% Democratic, but when you talk to them, most of those are good Christians, and they're looking for solutions. So I work with Mr. Bernard to fashion a program for after-school kids. $300 for every kid between 3 and 6. You can choose anywhere you want to go. It can be a church nutritional program. Your church can offer singing classes. Your community college can offer something that you like. And that way, we can bring some of those money and some of those kids back to the church so that churches can be center of community again. Yes. Now, unfortunately, he did not win. Later on this year, we have school choice here in California. I speak both Mandarin and Cantonese, so I'm on a lot of radio stations promoting school choice. And one day someone asked me, thank you, and say, George, have you read this school choice proposition? This title keeps showing up, Superintendent of Public Instruction. What does he do? So I look into it, I find out what he does. You know what he does? He appoints his best man, his crony from Philadelphia, job for $80,000 in California. That's what the current superintendent is doing. But more importantly, if we pass the school choice proposition, and we hope we do, the superintendent is in the position to make it work, sync this program all together. I want to be there to make sure that it works. But there are more to that. I think I have heard some of that being said today here. There are 3 false narratives that are being pushed on our kids. Number 1, they said that America is a bad country. That's why they have CRT. That's why people like Jussie Smollett can make up stories about America and people believe him. And that's why in San Francisco, they tear down the statue of Ulysses Grant, the person who fought and ended slavery, and nothing happened to those rioters. The second false narrative that they want to push down to us is that capitalism is bad. Have you heard? If you get a job, it's called wage slavery. If you make money, it's called exploitation. And people look around and say, that's your exploiter. That's your oppressor. Kids stop looking around for opportunities. The worst thing that we can tell a kid is that from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, that the whole system is stacked against you, have no chance. How do you think that kid will feel after the education system? We want our kids to be optimistic. They see opportunities and not oppression. The last lie that they want to perpetrate is that all solutions come from government. NPR, by the way, I listen to that from time to time. They said that 70% of American high school kids are depressed because of lack of action of climate change. Depressed. Like Greta. Greta goes around and says, "You ruined my life." Are they? Why do they do that? This is, by the way, I come from China in age 15. By the way, they call it West North Korea now. So they always believe that all solutions come from government. We need to beg governments for solutions. I talk to kids and say, if you care about climate, plant a tree in your backyard. Walk to school. Turn off that light. So I want to talk to the parents of California. What kind of kids do you want to see? Do you want kids who are proud of their parents, proud of this country, or people who look at this country and say, "Oh, we are just so bad a country"? Do you want your kids to grow up looking around and see great opportunities? They look at people who are different than who they are, but see potential partners in business, in creating value, or somebody who, "Oh, you're taking my spot in college"? Do you want people solutions in local communities, or those who are going around demanding more government funding, more government action? I want to be a hero of their own story and not the victim of somebody else's narrative. And that is true education. I want to talk a little about my race. Starting in January, I was the only Republican who put the statewide ballot statement on. Now, as some of you might have guessed it, there are two more candidates, Republican candidates, on the ballot right now, around the deadline. Now, they're not the only ones. If then I'm okay with it. But there's also the corrupt incumbent and the Marxist on the ballot. And the worst thing to happen is to have a top two election with the Marxist against the corrupt Democrat. I want to be there to fight in the general election. I hope that you guys can help me out. Now, people ask me, this is a tough race. I want to talk about one biblical story. When Jesus feeds the 5,000 people, he said, "I want you to give me 5 loaves and 2 fishes." We all know that's not enough. I don't have $20 million or $50 million against the unions. I don't. But I call on each and every one is to bring what you have to the table and be a part of a miracle. Thank you very much. Oh, any questions?
All right, thank you.